Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Update. My name is KK. I'll be analyzing this market with you this evening. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is slightly up here, pretty much flat day. We actually ended up seeing some kind of a gap up today, but started fading, came back down. So market is pretty much slightly gain day overall. We did see the Russell 2000 up a little more, but pretty much slightly up day in the market overall across the board. Let's try to dissect this thing, what had happened today, what we can expect going into tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last day of trading session for the year 2020. We do have a full day tomorrow, so after tomorrow, we'll be heading into 2021. And I have to say, 2020 was pretty crazy year, what we witnessed with the COVID decline. And I'm referring to the market, just the way market reacted with that 35% decline. We saw that abrupt massacre pretty much. I mean, we've never seen a stock market go down 35% in a month. That all happened in March. And the market got up in just about 4 months, recover everything. That also never happened in the history of stock market. This is gonna be, it's gonna go down in history as the fastest V-shaped recovery this market has ever produced, right? So that's what we're dealing with here, and market is still floating up, marching higher. And let's see, what we can expect though. Looking at things more of a short term here, looking at the 65-minute chart. Tomorrow, I will do the final, 2021 analysis. Hopefully, I can recap everything what had happened this year. Hopefully, what we can expect going into next year. That's for tomorrow for long-term analysis. For now, so it looks like we gapped up here. So this is where we closed yesterday. We gapped up here. Actually, we gapped up here. This is where it opened, continue to move higher. And then we found a little bit of micro-term resistance there. Second hour, we pull back. Third hour, sideways. Fourth hour, sideways. Fifth hour, we continue lower once that support was lost. And the sixth hour, it looks like we had some fluctuations there. So ever since the gap just got filled, there was a rising pivot, and my short-term moving average, that's all residing in that vicinity. I was tweeting it out that that's probably going to act as support. And after that happened, or that gap got filled, the rising pivot, the short-term moving average, it looks like that upper wick represents at one point we did see a rally for that last hour, came back down. We actually closed the day with inverted hammer candle. The inverted hammer can be some kind of a reversal candle. So if you want to like at that as some kind of reversal candle, you do want to see a green 1 hour candle that may look like this, like that, right? So what you want to see is we have that, we got that bearish red candle, and then we got that doji type, more like, inverted hammer. And then what you want to see is you want to see a bullish candle in the first hour that is going to have to engulf the entire, last hour here, the red candle, and then that small body. It would have to come back up here. And then, and that's not enough. You need to see a follow through in the second hour like this, right? Let's say if we do see something like this, right? First hour, we see a green candle. Second hour, we see a follow through tomorrow. And then it holds above 372.40. By the time we are done with the second hour, there's a good chance the market could look at this as a bullish reversal candle pattern, the 3 hour candle pattern, and then we may break above this resistance and continue higher, right? So that's, at least I give you that, to look forward to if you're a bull here, right? If you want to see this, inverted hammer candle becoming a bullish reversal candle, that's what you want to see. But if not, if we start to fizzle, nothing happening first 2 hours, not able to get above 372.40, then it's just going to be that micro-term weakness there. So gap just got filled. Let's kind of get rid of that. because the gap just got filled. I'm just gonna move this down here. You were just right on the support. So in the micro term, I just looking at things last 2-3 days, let's just continue to give, or let's just label this market neutral in the last few days, looking at things in the micro term, because market really hasn't gone anywhere, right? We did see some like gap ups, but it would usually, what happens is if we see a gap up then fade. So pretty much pretty much this week, last week of this 2020, we haven't gone anywhere. We pretty much moved sideways. So let's label that neutral in the micro term. Let's zoom out here and check out kind of a short to mid term here. And so, looking at things a shorter term or short term, let's look at short to mid term here, right? We do have subtle higher highs here, which we've been talking about this week and over the weekend. And that's helpful. At least we got that cultivation, right? And then we are dealing with that the short-term rising pivot, right? That's a resistance, and support. And that's kind of where we saw a little bit of dip buying activities there on the last hour. Not to mention that, my short-term moving average is coming up here. It scooped up these lows, and it scooped up this before we saw a gap up today, and we're just right at it, right? So we didn't break below it. We're just trading right on it. So looking at things in the short term, I want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term, right? Because we're holding that rising pivot, because we're above my short-term moving average, and not to mention, we just filled the gap, okay? So like when the gap gets filled, it's going to act as instant support. So when I say short-term, I mean more looking at like here, looking at this right here. I want to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers, and with the higher lows and higher highs in place, right? So micro term, neutral, short term, bullish, right? In the short to mid term, when I say short to mid term, I mean this, neutral to bullish, neutral to work. Because what happened in the short, last month and a half or so, it's been pretty choppy sideways. But I don't want to just give it neutral. I want to give it, neutral to bullish, because we do have these higher highs. And it seems like this big gap up that we saw this morning, or not this morning, but on Monday morning, it seems to hold. It looks like there's that rising pivot. If this becomes that higher low and market is ready to make new highs, that's going to turn that short to mid-term sentiment to bullish pretty quickly. So mid-term, bullish to neutral, short-term, bullish, micro-term, neutral. Right, let's check out that oscillator and see if we can get, if we can maybe refine our, the sentiment of this market here. So looking at the oscillator here, so we're still curling down. But what we're seeing is we're not seeing price coming down with it. What we're seeing is price actually moving sideways while the oscillator is coming down. Bears really want to, materialize from that weakness, but we're not seeing it. So what we're seeing is, and think about this, because last time when we saw oscillator coming down, right, both times here, last two occasions, right, both times we saw price trading below my short-term moving average. Same thing here, below short-term moving average, when the oscillator is what? Falling down, right? But this time, oscillator is falling down, but the price is staying above my short-term moving average. So you see how there's a little bit more bullish sentiment that we're working with here, right? So price, actually the market is now in correction. We're talking, short-term here, correction, but it's correcting through time, not correcting through price, and showing resiliency, right? So bulls did get tired once the oscillator hit that overbought level. Instead of price coming down, we're seeing these pushes from the buyers, which we saw this morning, and then just grinding all day. Basically, buyers are hanging on until they can gather its strength again, energy again, from tired to recovered, right? To having that energy to push up again, to run up again. So this is actually bullish sentiment. If we do see that oscillator crossing back up, we see across something like this or like that, you will see buyers bringing it back up again. So we're currently experiencing this market correcting through time, just waiting until that oscillator reset so that bulls can make a run again. That's what it looks like to me. But what I said about yesterday, if bears don't want to deal with any of this crap that I just talked about, you just want to see this thing going down hard. Like you want to see 360s. I said this yesterday. I'll say this again. You still have a chance. Gap it down. Do you see this big gap, right? We're currently trading at 372. You have to gap it down below 369. Turn this into an island top. Gap it down. You cannot gap a little lower. You don't even want to just come down and fill the gap, because once you come down and fill the gap, oscillator will all the way be back here. It will be oversold, and then bears will be tired. Once the bears get tired, what's the bulls gonna do? Bring it up. So gapping it down is the best case scenario for the bears. You know, you don't want to deal with all these moving averages, the rising support, bullish sentiment. Gap it down, turn this into an island top, gap it down to 369 or below 369. You will get your 365 and 360 minimum. If we see something like that, this will come down to retest my midterm moving average, currently residing at 365. Well, there you have it. My promo is ending tomorrow night, so we have one more day for this investor promo that I'm running this month, which will be expiring tomorrow night. Description section below, there will be the link. You can check it out. Anyways, I'll come back for you. Let's see how the market is behaving at these levels. You guys enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.